Hey there, fellow Reddit enthusiasts. If you love diving into intriguing Reddit stories, you'll want to stick around till the end. We've got a captivating one lined up for you today. For this video, we're delving into the fascinating world of relationships, so buckle up for a deep dive into some compelling stories. Ex-fiancée, 32F of 8+ years broke up with me, 32M, via text message 3 years ago and disappeared. Now is trying to rejoin our circle of mutual friends, and I am struggling with it extremely hard. Me and a girl who I will just call Jessica were a couple for 8+ years and engaged for 3+ of them. I met her through a mutual friend in my group of friends. We ended up hitting it off pretty quickly as our dorky, nerdy hobbies aligned really well. I personally fully expected to marry this person and spend the rest of my life with her. In early 2016, her job offered her an amazing opportunity to temporarily work 4 months in the company's satellite office, New Zealand. She was an environmental engineer, to temporarily manage and lead a new team. It was very sudden, and I was not really happy with the idea, but she really wanted this chance and opportunity, so off she went. I flew out to visit her after hard 2 months. Only when I arrived at the airport, I got a text message from her. The message was short and more or less consisted of, she was sorry, but after thinking it through, she thinks it would be best if we went our separate ways from now on. She then completely blocked me on almost every single form of social media, cell phone, etc. I was confused, devastated, and became an absolute wreck. I remember completely breaking down in Auckland Airport. I spent the next 4 days living at a motel, basically trying to get into contact with her in any shape or form. She had apparently blocked every one of our circle of friends. Even her close friends from our circle of friends were shocked, confused, and basically lost. Even her parents were extremely confused when I called them. Her dad, who I was extremely close with, we coached Pee-wee hockey together and played a lot of beer league for hockey together, refused to believe it at first. I was a mess for a solid year, but my close circle of friends managed to drag me out of my hellish hole along with some therapy. Her best friends became close friends to me. About a year ago, she invited some of her old close friends to her wedding among a bunch of other people from our group. No one went, and I quickly found out which hurt me even more. Over a year ago, I started dating one of her old friends, as me and her had gotten close over the last 2 years or so. She felt quite hurt when Jessica basically ghosted her. Unfortunately, there was some awkwardness because she fully knew I was not fully over my ex, but she has been a supportive and amazing person, and I am extremely happy with her. Life was going great for me. Then in December, Jessica apparently moved back home after divorcing a few months after getting married. I don't know much, and I don't want to know. However, she is making this hugely concentrated effort to reconnect with people in our friend group, which is resulting in some very conflicted feelings for some people. Last week, I found out that Jessica and some of my friends have started playing D&D via Roll20, which frankly made me feel like shit. Part of my just wants to move on from this, but I am struggling hard. While my SO has been extremely supportive, I just feel numb and don't really know what to do. Today, Jessica sent me a long Facebook message basically apologizing to me for what she did and asked to be friends. I didn't respond and blocked her. I told my SO and I just felt like I was going to break down. Right now, my SO is saying she is worried about me and keeps asking me what do I want to do. My SO confessed that Jessica had sent her a similar message a few weeks ago and she told her off. I don't know what I am supposed to do. I can't order my friends to not be friends with her. I just feel like a mess and I am struggling with this as I feel like I am a teenager dealing with stupid drama again. I sat down with my SO and explained to her how awesome she is, and explained how I don't have any romantic feelings for my ex at all. All I really have is a lot of painful and hurtful memories. I also asked her what should I do, and she suggested I respond and tell her off to get closure of some degree. So I did that. I told her, I don't want to be friends anymore. I want nothing to do with her. I explained how badly she hurt me. I am happy right now, and I just want her to leave me and my friends alone. She took it well, apologized one more time, and then basically said, goodbye forever. That was honestly a huge load off my shoulders. I then went and told our group of friends and explained how much she hurt me and how I would rather we not start adding her to our gaming sessions, etc. Unfortunately, I ended up losing a bunch of friends and have irreparably caused a lot of damage to our friends group. Many of them sided with me, but a bunch of them took the stance of, you have no right to tell me who I can be friends with, among other complaints. A few people were very angry and told me I am being a terrible person as my ex is trying to repent and deal with pain of her divorce. It was confusing and frankly just made everything more of a mess. In the end, a bunch of us ended up getting booted out of our FF14 free company, which then my SO ended up kicking out a bunch of people from our Discord. I don't really know what is going to happen, but it really hurt to see some people I have known for years and even helped me get through it the first time suddenly take her side. First off, major kudos for surviving what sounds like a breakup from hell. Dumped via text, blocked from every possible platform, that's a breakup move straight out of the How Not to End a Relationship handbook. And let's not forget the dramatic airport scene in Auckland. Hollywood couldn't have scripted it better. Now, Jessica decides to re-enter the scene like a phoenix rising from the ashes. It's like she's playing a game of emotional chess, and your friends are the pawns. Her attempt to slide back into the D&D campaign, though, that's some next-level strategy. It's as if she's trying to roll a nat 20 on the friendship check after botching the relationship save. But hold on, your SO deserves a round of applause. She shut down Jessica faster than a faulty amusement park ride. Bravo! It's like your current partner is the hero of the story, swooping in to save the day. Now, the grand showdown. You delivered the ultimate mic drop with a closure message that could rival Shakespearean tragedy. Goodbye forever. That's the kind of line you expect from a superhero before vanishing into the sunset. But hey, closure is closure, even if it comes with a side of lost friendships. And here's the silver lining. You've cleaned house. A bunch of fair-weather friends who can't pick a side are out, and those who stood by you remain. It's like your own personal Avengers assembling, minus the spandex. Sure, it's a messy sitcom right now, but life has a funny way of working out. Sometimes you need to kick a few people out of your FF14 free company to find the real MVPs. Now, let's shift our focus to the comments section and see what our fantastic community has to say about this. Your insights always add an extra layer to the conversation. User Pelnell. It's always so strange when people who break up in shitty ways reach out after literal years. I was in a, let's say, toxic relationship in my very early 20s with a guy 2 decades older than me. When his dad died, he went back home for a week for the funeral and to be with family. During that time, I took care of his super anxious dogs, who had terrible diarrhea as a result of separation anxiety. I was with them 24/7 and cooking chicken breast with pumpkin for them multiple times a day, as he said that was the best way to help them. The day he came back, I picked him up at the airport and made him lobster for dinner. He told me after eating that we should probably not see each other anymore because he had reconnected with his high school girlfriend back home, and she was planning to come visit him and they were definitely going to Naturally, I was pretty upset about this. And while we had mutual friends, I avoided talking to him as much as possible if I saw him after that. Now I'm 36, married with a toddler, have not seen or spoken to him in probably 7 years, and he decided to email me out of the blue, asking about a time I ran into him at a movie theater. He tried to talk to me and a friend, and I was polite, but he wanted to talk more. He just needed to use the bathroom first. While he was in the restroom, my friend and I left because I didn't want to speak to him, and he decided to email me about this interaction years later, wanting to know why I might have been upset with him. I truly don't understand what goes through people's heads sometimes. User Natural Garbage 7674. Catch Jessica getting massive dumped and going, oh shit, turns out I'm trash because I did that before. Better try and make it right so I can get the support I need from the people I threw away like garbage. Long-term relationship like that, and then she's married and divorced in 3 years? She blocked the OOP when he came to visit because she was with the guy already, and blocked everyone else so they didn't know she was a cheat. All right, folks, it's time to shift gears and dive into our next compelling story. Buckle up for another journey into the unexpected twists of Reddit tales. I 30M think my wife, 29F, is in love with her female best friend. I have been married with my wife for 7 years, and we met 8 years ago in a church meeting and we became friends. My wife is a quiet, kind, and beautiful woman. Any man's dream, therefore, it was obvious that I fell for her instantly. Although she always behaved with what I thought was shyness, not wanting to cuddle with me or only kissing me on rare occasions. We both were raised in Christian families in a part of our country that is really religious. But unlike me, her parents were always the type who follows the holy doctrine really seriously. So she has a traditional way of thinking about religion and how women should behave. So I always taught that it was because of that her behavior is like that. Sometimes I think she looks like a robot. She's nice and kind with everyone, but a couple of times I saw her staying all quiet, staring into space like if she was dead. Over the years, I began to take it as something normal on her personality because she always refused to go to the psychologist and always said that she's just like that. Until 2 months ago, when she found out that the woman who was her best friend in high school was coming back to the town, I never saw her so happy and alive. I felt happy for her, thinking that what she needed was a female friend. My wife never used to leave the house, but since that woman is staying in the town, she has been going out as much possible. She became a different person, but not in a bad way. But she looks full of life. And to be honest, I never saw her smile as much as when she tells me that she will go out with her friend for a coffee. For the record, I'm sure she's not sleeping with her because she doesn't know how to lie and her behavior with me never changed. I'm not going to deny it. Days ago, I started to feel jealous of that woman, that she is the reason why my wife smiles so much and is on her phone all day, out of pure curiosity. 3 days ago, I entered her FB and some albums were public. She had a lot of albums, and I found pictures of her and my wife during high school. That woman was hugging my wife as if they were a couple. In some of the photos, they were holding hands or looking at each other with bright smiles, which is something she never does with me. Her family hates gay people, although my wife never talked ill about them, but just avoid talking about the topic, which now makes sense to me. I don't know whether to confront her because maybe I'm just thinking too much, or maybe she's in love with her. Ex-girlfriend? I decided to confront my wife and ask about the photos with her friend during high school. Everyone in the post said that they are most likely just friends, and made my mind feel more in peace thinking that I was overthinking. But when I showed her the photos, she began to breathe fast in what I think was a panic attack. I helped her to calm, but then she got upset because I sneaked in her friend FB. I knew she was trying to change the subject because she loves to do that. So I got serious and told her to talk. After a few long minutes full of her trying to change the topic, she ended up telling me everything. Indeed, she and her friend used to be a couple during high school and friends since kindergarten. They kept the relationship as a secret, pretending to be only best friends until my wife's parents found out and beated her up. Separating them, her friend moved to the capital that year, and they never saw each other again. But for what my wife said and showed, they never stopped loving each other. In some point of the conversation, my wife stopped calling her friend by name, and without realizing, she started calling her mi amor, which hurt me because in all years married, she never called me like that. I asked her if she was cheating on me with her friend and said that they never kissed or anything, but I'm sure she's emotionally cheating me. She doesn't know what's that concept, so she really believes she's not doing anything wrong. The reason why her friend never wanted to meet me or even go to our wedding is because she hates to see her love married with a man she doesn't even like and living a lie. Ouch. I asked my wife if she loves me and said yes, but like a best friend. Yes, my own wife just friend-zoned me. She cried a lot, saying that she's really sorry for lying to me. When we meet, we really clicked as friends, and she told me that her parents insisted her to marry me so she could heal. That explained why she never liked to hug, cuddle, or do anything romantic with me. It wasn't because she was shy, but because she didn't like me. I wanted to lose my temper and yell at her. I wanted to cry and even run away because I was patient and empathetic with all the times she rejected my affection, and I felt alone. I've even been thinking for years that maybe I'm a bad husband, and I was treating her badly without realizing it, feeling insecure about my own personality, but she assured me that I was never the problem. I didn't cry or yell. I just left the house and came to my sister's house. We didn't talk about divorce or anything like that. I even think my wife doesn't see any problem with what she did with her friend, but I'm sure that I don't want to spend all my life in a loveless marriage with a woman that will never love me back. First off, let's address the language thing. Your English is doing just fine, considering you just dropped a bombshell about your wife possibly being in love with her female best friend. Bravo on multitasking with language skills and relationship drama. Now, on to the main act, your wife's secret past. High school sweethearts, a love forbidden by her strict family, and a separation that could rival any classic love story. And she's been holding on to this secret like it's the crown jewels. The real kicker? You find out she's been emotionally cheating on you and she casually friend-zoned you. Ouch, that's a double shot of heartbreak. But hold on, let's talk about your wife's sense of drama. Sneaking in mi amor while discussing her past love. That's like adding salt to a fresh wound. And her reason for marrying you? To heal? It's like you're the rebound husband in her emotional roller coaster. You, my friend, handle this revelation like a champ. No yelling, no tears. Just a quiet exit to your sister's house. It's like you're the protagonist in a Nicholas Sparks novel, walking away from the storm with a stoic expression. So, what's next? A sequel to this emotional saga? A divorce drama or a self-discovery adventure? The plot thickens, my friend. But remember, life is a series, not a standalone movie. There might be a sequel where you find love, happiness, or just some damn peace and quiet. In the meantime, take care of yourself. Maybe grab a tub of ice cream, binge watch a sitcom, and let the healing begin. Stay tuned, because in the upcoming story update, we'll be incorporating more of your opinions. Your perspectives shape the narrative, so keep those comments flowing. I come back to my house the day after my last update, and my ex-wife was there laying in the couch. The first thing I said when I entered was, "We're going to divorce." Maybe that wasn't the best way of saying it, but she has the habit of changing the topic when I want to talk about serious things. So I didn't want her to do that this time. She clearly didn't expected that and started to cry and have an anxiety attack, saying that, "We can't divorce, that I can't do that to us." But what hit me harder was, there's no point in us breaking up. The fact that I don't love you doesn't change anything. Which is true. I realized that our relationship was always like that, her treating me just like a friend and me accepting that kind of trait. She said that she never cheated or anything like that. Even if I explained again what's emotional cheating, I told her that she's not even attracted to mans, so there's no sense in staying married, because we're just not for each other, and asked her if she still loved that best friend, and she didn't deny it, but kept insisting that we shouldn't divorce. I can understand why she was so desperate, but it made me feel used. Like if I was her pathetic beard who she can always use as a shield for herself, or a dog who will always be happy with the smallest token of affection. I don't need her signature anyway to get a divorce, so even if she doesn't want to, we're 100% going to break up. I told her I'm not going to take her out of the closet, but if anyone asks, I'll just say the truth, avoiding the sexuality topic, because I don't want people gossiping and assuming things that didn't happen. The lands and basically all the things of the house are mine, and maybe I'm an asshole for this, but I told her that I will not give her anything, because it's all mine, and I inherited the land from my grandfather. At this point, she just looked sad and defeated, so didn't complain or anything, although I will get advice from a lawyer to be sure. I told her that she can stay until December in the house, and she answered that she will probably have to come back to live with her parents, which actually made me feel bad because my ex-in-laws are not good people. But for what she said, she's still talking with her best friend. So luckily, she's not alone. The conversation finished awkward with me just leaving. For now, I'm staying at my sister's house. I can have time for myself since she and my other sisters are out of the province for a concert. I didn't talk with my ex-wife after that day, and she didn't try to contact me, but I know that she told my ex-in-laws about the divorce because they wanted to contact me to ask why we're divorcing. But I just answered that these are things that need to be resolved only between her and me. So this will be probably my last update because I will go NC with my ex-wife after the divorce. We don't have children's. Sometimes she started talks about having a baby, and now I feel really relieved of always saying that I didn't felt ready. Maybe something in me was already telling me that she wasn't for me. So we don't have anything that tie us together. I have been going to the psychologist since I was a child, so I think that has helped me a lot to channel my emotions. Many in the comments said that I shouldn't have empathy or things like that for her. But we're both broken people that suffers from a religious trauma, and I know how bad that messed to people's mind and heart. Some people in the comments were confused about why I stayed with her, when she clearly didn't love me romantically. But I don't know, maybe I always justified her actions because somehow I felt identified with her. Maybe I have a hero complex, or maybe my sense of duty is too strong, that I felt internally tied up with her, and responsible of making her happy as her husband, even if she always rejected my romantic love. I don't know, that's something I will talk and work with my psychologist. Also, I received questions like why I married with her in the first place, and she was the one who said we should marry, and I was immature and young at that time. And because we got along well, I thought it was a good idea. For now, I just want to divorce and then spend time with my family. In general, I feel numb and weird. I haven't cried yet. And in the session of yesterday, my psychologist told me that he thinks I already grieved the relationship long time ago, even if I didn't realize it. I don't feel like I lost a wife, but like I lost a close and good friend and company. Not a heartbreak pain, but a betrayal pain. Anyways, I don't want anything to do with her anymore. Maybe I'm being a bad person for abandoning her knowing the type of life she had, but I can't save a person who doesn't want to be saved, and I'm tired of trying. For now, I will just say goodbye. Maybe not to a woman I saw as the love of my life, but to a woman who helped me and was a good friend for years. First of all, let's acknowledge the strength it takes to share such a personal journey. Your updates read like chapters in a novel, each with its own twists and turns, and you've navigated them with a level-headedness that's commendable. Walking into your house and dropping the divorce bomb, that's a cinematic moment right there. It's clear you've reached a point where you're ready to put an end to a relationship that, despite its length, lacked the romantic connection you desired. Your clarity in expressing that you won't hide the truth but won't fan the gossip flames is a testament to your understanding of the complexity of the situation. As for the house and belongings, inheritance can indeed be a sensitive matter, and seeking legal advice is a wise move. The decision to go no contact post-divorce, especially when there are no children involved, speaks to a determination to move forward and focus on your own well-being. Your acknowledgement of both your and your ex-wife's brokenness from religious trauma reveals a compassionate perspective that not everyone might share. You're embracing the opportunity for self-reflection and therapy, acknowledging that your motivations and choices might need exploration. It's a brave move to confront the complexity of your own emotions and motivations. And hey, no need for a villain era. Life's complicated enough without adding dramatic monologues and evil laughter, right? Your level-headedness might have surprised some, but it's a testament to your maturity and emotional intelligence. As you step into this new chapter, know that your story has resonated with many, and your updates have been far from boring. They've been a glimpse into the human experience, messy, uncertain, but always evolving. Here's to your future, whatever it may hold, and may it be filled with growth, healing, and genuine connections. Before we dive into the next story, let's take a moment to check out what you, our incredible audience, are saying in the comments. Your opinions truly matter. User Anxiety Spice. I can't believe people were trying to tell UP to just open the marriage and stay with his ex. He deserves to be married to someone who he loves and who loves him and treats him right. It seems like his past trauma caused him to look past her poor treatment of him, and I'm glad he's starting to see what she is truly like. He handled this very maturely, all things considered. User Heyo Meatballs. The fact that she has to hide her sexuality and her true self is sad, but Up deserves so much better. A marriage is a partnership. It's built on trust and is supposed to have a solid foundation. Starting it off with a lie one as big as, "Of course I love and am attracted to you and would rather have you than anyone else," is a good way to make the marriage become a trap real fast. User L3XG. It's frustrating that people think someone's sexual orientation saves them from being POS. She can be both, and it's not for OOP to fix. Cheating is cheating, and it's clear she is just using OOP for her own selfish gains. Even if that meant helping her from her abusive parents, it isn't okay to force OOP to live in a loveless marriage. Just because they think she has good reasons to trick him, it isn't okay. I'm happy he was able to see he needed to correct his behavior to her and stop letting her dictate his life. Ready for the next adventure? Let's jump into our next story, and don't forget to hit that like button if you're as excited as I am to explore what comes next. My 29M partner left me 32F behind during an earthquake while I'm pregnant. This just happened. I live in a country known for earthquakes this time of the year. We were together in the living room while I was on a work conference video call when the alarm started going off in our building and on our phones, and the building started to shake a bit. It took me a moment to register what was happening, but by the time I got up, he had already taken the 2 dogs and was running downstairs. As mentioned, I was on a conference call, no shoes on and no bra on, and I'm 6 months pregnant. I tried to act quickly and made it downstairs where he already was with the dogs. Luckily, everyone was fine. When we got back to the apartment, I told him how he acted really upset me. He did not even hesitate to leave me behind to fend for myself and his unborn child. He defended his actions and basically told me I needed to act quickly or I'm fucked in those situations. It's not as if I needed him to hold my hand during that moment, but he didn't even wait a second to make sure I was good to go. I'm really upset because obviously I'm not in able-bodied shape due to being pregnant and I'm hurt. His reaction was basically, "It's your fault you're slow, I'm not gonna wait for you." I need some perspective on this. I think it's pretty obvious why I would be upset about this, but can someone give me some perspective on his side so I can understand why he's defending his position? Are we both valid, or is he being an a-hole? Also, for some quick background, I am foreign to this country and have been here a year, and I'm not very experienced in these situations. Firstly, it's important to acknowledge the stress and fear that an earthquake can induce, and I'm glad to hear that everyone is safe. Now, onto the situation at hand. Your feelings are absolutely valid, and it's understandable why you would be upset about your partner's actions. Pregnancy adds an extra layer of vulnerability, and in such emergency situations, emotions can run high. From his perspective, it seems he was focused on the immediate need to get to safety and might not have fully grasped the emotional and physical challenges you were facing. His reaction could stem from a survival instinct, wanting to act quickly to protect himself and the dogs. However, it's also crucial for him to understand the emotional impact of leaving you behind, especially given the circumstances. You're not asking for special treatment, you're asking for empathy and consideration during a vulnerable time. A healthy discussion about the incident and your feelings is essential. It's possible that in the heat of the moment, he didn't fully comprehend the gravity of the situation for you. Communicate your emotions, fears, and the physical challenges you faced during the incident. Similarly, ask him to share his perspective without defensiveness so that you can both understand each other better. Creating an earthquake plan together is a practical step forward. Discuss roles and responsibilities, considering the unique challenges posed by your pregnancy. This could include having emergency supplies easily accessible, practicing evacuation routes, and establishing a communication plan. Seeking guidance from a therapist is a wise decision. They can help navigate the emotional aspects of this incident and provide strategies for better communication and mutual understanding. Remember, both of your feelings and experiences are valid, and finding common ground will be key to moving forward in a supportive and understanding manner. Before we continue our adventure, let's tap into the wealth of opinions in the community comments. Your perspectives are like puzzle pieces that complete the story. User Silver Itea. Being pregnant changes your center of gravity, which can mess with your balance, and during an earthquake is exponentially worse. That there were stairs involved, you could have easily fallen down the stairs due to the additional vertigo from the earthquake. You were not his priority. Massive red flag. User Mama Bear 44 or 85. Honey, I've been in your exact same situation, except it was a tornado warning. He reacted the exact same way yours did, screaming at me that I was abusing him by trying to portray him as failing some kind of test, among other things. A very wise person strongly advised me to go back to my home country for a visit. I thought I knew him better than anyone else and stayed. I didn't want to deprive my child of her father. Now I'm much older and wiser. My child and I went through years of vicious abuse before we were able to get away. Go home, talk to people you can trust, reflect deeply on your relationship. look sincerely at it, and see if there are other red flags. Think long and hard about whether you are prepared to live your current life for the next 18 years. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them. User Casamonium. I don't think his actions were the right thing, but I don't think they were wrong. Some people just don't do well in emergencies. This is why we have drills in schools. So we learn what to do because our instincts are often wrong. Take some time to sit down and make evacuation plans, not just for earthquakes. I get them where I live too. They're scary. But for house fires, water shutoffs, power loss, home invasion, floods, choking, it's different for infants, etc. Get a safety checklist together. Designate who will do what, e.g., who calls 911, who grabs kids, children, who calls family, who calls insurance, who grabs meds. Charge your flashlights and get some water bottles and shelf-stable food to have on hand and replenish on a schedule. Make plans and practice them so you're both prepared as a team for emergencies. For what it's worth, I work in a large, completely windowed office building. We have a 7.1 earthquake 5 years ago. And you know what employees did? Not take cover under their desks, not stay calm, not evacuate to clear ground away from buildings and trees. No, they frantically ran outside and looked up at a 15-story glass building from 50 feet away, as if windows couldn't have exploded, and sprayed glass shards at them. People panic. ETA. I'd be upset too. But I've seen people do stupid things because of lack of preparedness and planning. I don't mean to be dismissive. Your enthusiasm fuels the journey. Now let's seamlessly transition into our next story. Get comfortable, because things are about to get interesting. Am I the asshole for wanting to divorce my husband? Because he wants a son? I, 27F, have been with my husband, 29M, for 5 years. Married for 3 of those years. Our marriage was perfect and we were so happy. It felt like our entire life was perfect. Church on Sunday, loving husband, beautiful home, all of it. A few months into our marriage, I became pregnant and my husband and I were overjoyed, and so was the rest of our family. My husband was especially happy after finding out our baby was a boy, as he'd always told me he wanted at least one son. I even started to try to attempt to repair my relationship with my mother, so our son could have a relationship with his grandparents. I had originally cut off most contact with my mother due to how she treated my brother when he married his husband, though my brother said he was all right with my decision to try to get her back in my life, since he still has love for her and my baby was her first grandchild. However, our son ended up stillborn, and it broke me. I fell into a depression, and even at one point considered taking my life, but my husband was there for me during all of it, and we got through the grief. Our marriage felt stronger than ever, and life started slowly feeling beautiful again, even if it no longer felt perfect. About 5 months ago, I found out I'm pregnant again, and then found out soon after that we're having triplets. My husband and I were over the moon, and he was the most doting and loving husband. Since we had always said we wanted 2-3 children, we agreed we wouldn't try for any more children after this. Because of our and our family's excitement for the triplets, we decided to throw a baby shower and gender reveal party. We trusted my brother with the genders of the triplets, and he bought some confetti cannons with the colored streamers inside. The baby shower went wonderfully with my parents, in-laws, my brother and his husband and their daughter, and tons of friends and extended family. It was like a dream come true, and I was so excited for the gender reveal. I don't care what the gender of our babies was. I just wanted healthy little babies, but my husband was clearly excited for potentially 3 sons. When the time came, me, my husband, and my brother all shot a confetti cannon, and all 3 shot out pink confetti. I was so excited, and so was my brother, but my husband screamed at the top of his lungs and hit the table in front of us, hitting it so hard that it actually broke. He screamed at me that I was supposed to give him at least 1 son because I killed his first one. That's when I burst into tears. I had been so broken up about our son's stillbirth, and a part of me had felt it was my fault, and now he, my husband, was, the love of my life, telling me that it was. My brother immediately stepped in and tried to get my husband to calm down, but my husband shoved my brother, so my brother instead pulled me inside where I cried in the living room, while my husband's mother tried to calm him down. I could hear him screaming outside about how 3 daughters is too many, how he doesn't want 4 kids, but he also wants a son. Ever since that moment, my husband has hardly talked to me. He's been sleeping in the guest room, and when we do interact, he's clearly upset and mad and tries to argue with me. I tried to talk to him about it and asked about how he'll be with our 3 daughters, but he spat at me and told me he will provide them shelter and food, but he isn't interested in daughters and doesn't plan to have a close relationship with them. That sealed the deal that I want to divorce him, and I cried myself to sleep last night. Earlier today, I confided in my mother and Mill about all this, but they told me I can't divorce my husband just because he wants a son. I don't want my daughters to grow up in an unloving household where their parents constantly argue and their father doesn't love them. The moment my husband said I killed our son, I felt as though I lost all love I had for him in an instant. and I don't want my daughters to be in that kind of household. However, both my mom and Miles say it's just natural for men to want sons and that at least he isn't saying he'll mistreat them. They treated this as absolute fact and acted as though I'm just a silly little girl who doesn't know anything. I felt incredibly small and stupid. I don't know what to do. My mother and MIL make me feel like maybe I'm overreacting to my husband's behavior, but my brother says this is not normal as he and his husband are both men who absolutely love their daughter. I'm also not sure of what I'll do with myself if I divorce my husband. I don't work, and I'm not sure how I'll be able to find a job that can support me and 3 babies all on my own, or how I'll make time for all of them when I have to work. I feel so lost and helpless. I'm torn on what to do because I worry divorce will be too brash of a decision, and that maybe my mother and Mill are right. Am I the asshole? What should I do? I'm truly sorry to hear about the difficult situation you're going through. It's clear that this is a complex and emotional issue, and you're grappling with the well-being of your daughters and your own happiness. Firstly, your feelings are valid. The comment your husband made about you causing the stillbirth of your first son is deeply hurtful and unfair. It's understandable that this has had a profound impact on your perception of your marriage. The fact that your husband is expressing disappointment about having daughters and claiming he won't have a close relationship with them is concerning. It's important for children to grow up in an environment where they feel loved, valued, and accepted by both parents. You're not overreacting, and your concerns about the potential negative impact on your daughter's well-being are valid. It's crucial to prioritize the emotional and psychological health of your children when making decisions about your relationship. You're not alone in facing challenges, and seeking support from friends, family, or professionals can be beneficial. Talking to a therapist or counselor can provide you with guidance and a safe space to explore your feelings and options. In terms of practical concerns, there are support systems and resources available for single parents. It might be helpful to explore local community services, government assistance programs, and job placement services. Ultimately, the decision to divorce is a significant one, and it's important to carefully weigh your options and consider the well-being of yourself and your children. If you believe that ending the marriage is in the best interest of you and your daughters, it may be worth pursuing, but seeking professional guidance in this process is crucial. Remember, you deserve to be in a relationship that is supportive, respectful, and nurturing. It's okay to prioritize your own happiness and the well-being of your children. Hold on to your seats. In the upcoming story update, we're weaving in more of your opinions. It's your chance to shape the narrative, so keep those insights flowing. Update: Am I the asshole for wanting to divorce my husband? For wanting a son, I am going to divorce my husband. He's shown the kind of man he is, and I don't want to live in or raise daughters in that kind of environment. I'm going to move in with my brother and BIL during all this. He and his husband have a nice large house where I can have my own room and a nursery for the triplets. I originally worried that perhaps myself and 3 babies would be overwhelming or a burden to him and my BL, but they assured me they would love to have us here. I knew everything would be okay when my brother even offered to have a baby monitor put in their bedroom so he could help if more than one of the triplets woke up during the night. My BIL has a nice high-paying job and my brother works from home, so I will have a stable environment and my brother will help with his nieces. My own niece is excited for us to live with her. The current plan is I will live with my brother and BIL for a while, and once my babies are old enough where I feel comfortable putting them in daycare, which my BIL has offered to pay for, then I can try to find a job of my own where I can save up money and eventually move into a nice place of my own with my daughters. I'm so thankful for my brother and BIL. They truly feel like angels. My brother and I are also going to go no contact with my mother. My brother and I discussed her behavior with us growing up, how she treated him when he came out and also got married, and how she's treated me these past few days. We decided this was the best course of action as we've given her many chances in our lives to become more stable and kind, but she's always refused them, and we want our daughters to grow up in with a loving family. When I knew my husband had left for church this morning, my brother Bill and I went to my house and got all my important things such as documents, clothes, and things that are special to me as well as all the baby things. My Bill's mother watched my niece while we did all this. She's a kind woman and has offered to be a grandmother to my own babies, which I happily accepted. I will admit that I cried. I've cried a lot lately, but mostly happy tears, because my brother and I didn't go to church. My ladies' Bible study group texted me and asked if we were all right and if we needed anything. I texted them back and told them the truth and what happened, and they were all horrified. They told me they support me and are proud of me for taking action, and are now even planning a bake sale at the church to help raise money for me and my babies. Also, apparently when my husband went out to lunch after church with his men's Bible group, one of the other members is husbands to one of my friends in my Bible group, and when he found out what happened, he yelled at my husband so much that he cried. I got a little bit of joy out of hearing about that, not going to lie. My pastor even called me and asked if I'm okay, and he let me know that I'll always have people who support me at my church, which I'm very grateful for. After my husband came home from church and saw that most of my stuff was gone, He blew up my phone, but my BIL called him for me and said that he would pay for my husband to get therapy for his grief over our son and also told him to leave me alone. My husband has not tried to contact me since, and he has yet to give my bill an answer for his therapy offer. All in all, I'm so grateful for my brother and BL. I wouldn't be able to do any of this without them. I'm hopeful for the future, and while this isn't the kind of future I imagine myself or my babies, this is definitely the best one I can currently give them. They say it takes a village, and my babies will definitely have a village full of love and support. It's heartening to see the positive response from your Bible study group pastor and even members of your husband's men's Bible group. It's a testament to the strength of community and the empathy that people can show in difficult situations. Moving forward, focusing on your own happiness and creating a stable environment for your daughters is a commendable decision. Therapy for your husband may be a step toward healing for him, but it's crucial that you prioritize your own needs and the needs of your children. Remember that you're not alone, and seeking professional support, whether it's through therapy or legal advice, can be beneficial in navigating the challenges that may arise during the divorce process. I wish you continued strength, support, and happiness as you move forward into this new chapter of your life. Your resilience and determination to create a positive environment for your daughters are truly admirable. Our community is a treasure trove of insights, so let's take a moment to dive into the comments before we immerse ourselves in the next intriguing story. User Wooden Scientist 954. What's with the disgusting obsession with having a son? Your surname isn't that important. Your estate won't fall apart because it goes to a daughter. Anyone, woman or man, who has gender disappointment need to be shamed for the rest of their lives. My husband didn't care one way or another when we found out I was carrying a girl. He loves the crap out of her. When I asked if we have a second child and it's a girl again, how would he feel? He said he didn't care as long as they are happy and healthy. More men need to be like my husband. User Kitchen Dismal 9258. There's some thought to not putting the father on the birth certificate. That way he will have no legal right to the children. Not sure if he can push this, but it may depend on whether his family want to have contact with the kids. I would be very wary of letting them near their dad with this reaction to them not being boys. I wonder what the reaction would be if his first was a girl. Would he still be disappointed? Would he care if she was a stillbirth? I wonder if he's the firstborn. The mother and Mill sound just as bad if they are excusing his behavior. But the OOP needs to be honest with her daughters about their father. I would also be including their stillborn brother in conversation, and as part of the family, but only in the way that he is acknowledged and not hidden. I'm not saying to have a chair at the table for him all the time or anything like that. The dad may be having a trauma response if he hasn't had therapy for his grief, but I would have lost my love for him the instant he had have said to me that I was the reason for the death of his child. There's no coming back from that. User Tiger Chow. As awful as this is, it also makes me happy. Seeing how loving a relationship she has with her brother and Bill reminds me of how grateful I am for my people too. With an amazing man who also would very much love to have a son, but has never been anything less than loving and devoted to our girls. And on top of that, my family of 4 and our 7 pets were displaced this summer after a natural disaster. Our home is being repaired and we'll get to move back, but in the meantime, my sisters and Bill have let all 11 of us live here with them. The good people we love and rely on truly are what makes life beautiful and worthwhile. There is literally no feeling in the world like having people you love so much, you'd do anything for them, and knowing you've got the same love in return from them. Thanks for the engaging comments so far. Now let's shift our focus and immerse ourselves in the excitement of our next story. Ready to see where this one takes us? Am I the asshole for telling my son that his girlfriend is taking advantage of him? My son, Lucas, 19, has been dating Maya, 19, for a year. Just for some background, I'm a single mom, and Lucas's dad is extremely wealthy. Just a minor example of this is that his dad owns the entire block that Lucas lives on. Lucas has a job at his dad's company making close to $200K per year, while only working 20 hours per week. Maya is not from a well-off family. She's been on her own since she was 16 and had just enough to be okay before she met my son. She refused most of my son's help, but she let him do little things like help pay for car repairs and better groceries. Then she got pregnant. Apparently the first couple months were very rough, so she had to quit her job. Then her car wasn't safe enough for a baby. She had to move in with him. Due to complications, she lost the baby at 6 months. She was in and out of the hospital for the first month, but it's been over 7 months now and she still lives with him, doesn't work, and barely contributes with household chores. I tried to tell Lucas during and after the pregnancy that Maya was milking it. I got pregnant with him when I was Maya's age and I made it just fine on my own. I still worked, went to school, took care of my apartment, and later raised a kid all on my own. I think Maya saw an opportunity to get out of her old living situation and took it. He's always refused to believe me, and the last time I tried to talk some sense into him, he told me if I can't respect Maya, he won't be in contact with me. It's been 2 weeks and I'm wondering if I should have kept my mouth shut. A lot has changed in the past 3 months. First, Maya and Lucas moved. I've seen pictures of their house on social media. It's gorgeous. Shortly after they moved, I saw that they are now engaged. I have not been invited to the wedding. I know some of my family members have been invited, but they're not allowed to tell me where or when the wedding is. Between family and social media, I can tell that they're doing very well. My son is finishing his final semester in college. He did dual enrollment starting from sophomore year and graduated high school a semester early. Maya just started a small business and they got 2 dogs and some chickens. Maya and Lucas posted a pregnancy announcement today. Maya is 14 weeks pregnant. I called Lucas and left a message congratulating him, and asking to meet up, I sent Maya a similar message. As of now, it looks like I will not be involved in my grandchild's life. It's understandable that you are concerned about your son's well-being and the dynamics of his relationship with Maya. However, the way you approach the situation matters a lot, especially when dealing with sensitive topics like relationships and personal choices. Telling your son that Maya is taking advantage of him might have come across as judgmental, and it's clear that he has taken offense to your remarks. It's essential to approach these discussions with empathy and understanding, considering the emotions involved. It's also important to respect your son's decisions and autonomy as an adult. At this point, the situation has evolved, and your son and Maya have made life choices that they seem content with. Even though you may not agree with their decisions, it's crucial to approach the situation with an open mind and a willingness to understand their perspective. If you want to rebuild the relationship with your son and be a part of his life, it might be helpful to apologize for any hurtful comments you made in the past and express your desire to be supportive moving forward. However, keep in mind that they may have their reasons for limiting your involvement in their lives, and it's crucial to respect their boundaries. It's also worth considering seeking professional guidance, such as family counseling, to navigate these complex dynamics and improve communication within your family. A neutral third party can help facilitate conversations and provide insights that could be beneficial for everyone involved. Now, let's shift our focus to the comments section and see what our fantastic community has to say about this. Your insights always add an extra layer to the conversation. User B250440. Times continue to get harder for a single mother as wages remain flat with insane inflation. People who did it all on their own did not have the same level of challenges. I was able to afford my own apartment and bills on minimum wage 20 years ago also. But that is just not the reality anymore. Not to mention you likely got plenty in child support. I feel like you could be accused of the same thing for having a rich baby daddy. I'm sure Maya had some physical and emotional recovery to endure, and your son supported her. Now, shortly after, she is working again with a small business. I imagine this is not the first time you have meddled in this relationship if he has cut you off completely. User Lithios. Holy missing reasons, Batman. You're damn skippy that this one thing is not what caused her son to completely cut her out of his life. There is deep trauma involved here from his mother. This is just what broke the camel's back. To add to that, the fact that she isn't invited to the wedding, and nobody in the family is on her side and will give her any info about it or her son, or the fact she totally skipped the fact he's at uni and about to graduate, she really made it sound like he's working 20 hours a week and doing nothing else. She has issues. User IACs in my hair. If you want to have a relationship with your adult children, it is imperative that you take a step back and realize that they are adults. They are allowed to make adult choices and live with the outcome. You can offer advice with respect to your own life lessons, but not uninvited criticisms. Don't beat a dead horse. And you absolutely must treat any partner they bring home with dignity and respect, and with understanding that this person may be in their life for the rest of their life. You also need to understand and respect that their partner and the family they create together will and should take precedence over you. Give yourself a chance to love your children's partners, even if you have some misgivings. You might find out that they are really lovely people. As we wrap up this Reddit story, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing for more captivating Reddit stories. Your support means the world to me, I enjoy, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.